Welcome to our next episode of Count the Bucket. And of course, as always, my Wi-Fi pops up here that I'm losing a little bit of service. Hopefully it's okay. Might have to turn my volume a tad bit here. Got bad news, guys, and my wife just texted me as we were doing their intro here. My bad news is me and CJ was talking earlier. I don't have my AirPods. I could not find them. My wife said good news, and my text said found the AirPods. The bad news, they're at the bottom of the washer. So, found my AirPods. So yeah, there's that.
They might be good. They might be still good.
Really?
Yeah. I think one of my cousins, she watched her AirPods, or she accidentally left them in her pocket a few times, and they still work pretty good. So, you might be lucky.
Okay. Well, she said the light comes on, so hopefully they still work. Who knows? But how are you guys doing today before we get jumping into this wonderful NBA week?
I'm doing good. Honestly, I'm gonna just say this, man. Recently, I've just been recently tired of talking about the Lakers, but there's a good reason to talk about them right now. There's a good reason. So I'm excited about tonight.
You, CJ, how you doing today?
Man, feeling great. Glad to talk some basketball with you guys. It was a great week of basketball. A lot of scoring. Guys are going off. 40-point games. Got a 50 burger tonight. So my guy Alvarado, New York stand up, put up a 38 splash. So
38 splash. I like that.
Yes, sir. It was a good weekend. Good weekend of basketball. Glad to chop it up with you guys, man. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And, of course, as always, I think we've been doing really good as far as pushing ourselves to do some more on social medias. Guys, the ones
shout out to all the supports on Instagram. Shout out to all the supporters. Definitely follow
us.
We've
got it on the ticker down below us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the link tree where you can find everything that we have on the social media, or even our website as well, where Nick has dropped an article yet again this week, like always, and also our
on the radar
as well. So check all those out. Obviously, go to the link tree. CJ's got his link tree as far as his name tag there, as always. So it inspired me to get one for Count the Bucket. So, guys, I'm wearing yellow. And, as much as we talk about
what
this
a coincidence.
Team, as much as we talk
about
the
Pacers?
No. We're setting the pace right now, but for a new era with the Lakers. That's where we're going with this. So, are the Lakers – well, let me back up some. Let's first just do this. Let's recap, because I was not able to watch this game, and I heard you guys talking about it, and we wanted to talk about it on the show. So you all have to tell me, what did I miss on the Friday night game against the Lakers? The Lakers versus the Bucks. Help me out, fill me in, because I've seen stats and seen what.
It was a definition of greatness, man. You have two elite players at that front court position. Giannis Antetokounmpo for Milwaukee, Anthony Davis for the Lakers. And it was just really a nice show, man. Honestly, that's the type of ball that you see in the playoffs or the finals type performance, man. And it's and I'll be honest and say this, coming to the game, I think we made our predictions last week. I had the Lakers getting smacked. I had them getting smacked in that game. I'm not even gonna hold you, but the Lakers are slowly improving. I definitely give them credit. Big props to AD. I think he had 44 in that contest. Braun had a solid game. Russ had a pretty good game as well. So it was just an overall great effort from the Lakers. Chris Middleton had made his return. He had played pretty well, but we could tell, that he's still, trying to find himself, in his first game back. So honestly, the fourth quarter was about as exciting as it can get. I think probably the highlight of the game was Braun on the fast break going for a dunk and the Giannis having to chase down block, which is really, really impressive. But overall, it was just a really solid game. In my opinion, I said it before we ended up going on live. So far, it's game of the year for me. I know that we're just about a month and a half into the season, but so far, that's got to be the top game so far this year.
Awesome. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Did it go in? I thought one of y'all might have said it went in overtime once. It didn't go in overtime, did it?
No, it didn't.
No, okay. Regulation ball. It was a good game. Nick,
so 133 points for the Lakers. 120.
Yes, there was no defense. Actually, there was defense.
Towards the end, definitely. Guys started to lock in. It was definitely a finals NBA Finals type preview for sure. LeBron, I mean, he struggled early.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 10 for 23, and then he finished. I think he finished like 12 for 27 or some 13, something like that. He ended up scoring, hit some big shots, hit a big three.
12-27, 3 of 6 from 3-point line.
Yeah, he hit some big threes late in that fourth quarter. Man, Anthony Davis. I mean, I'm just glad he's healthy. He's been on a tear right now. These last 9 games, I mean, he just went bananas tonight. We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but Giannis had 40. It was just Russell had a double, no turnovers. It was just a great game. Back and forth. All the stars showed out. All the Hall of Famers showed out in this game, no question about it. And then you got Mike Green and Jeffrey and Gundy on the call, so that always makes it better. It was just a great Friday night hoops for real. Lakers obviously needed this dub more than Milwaukee. They're on a six game road trip right now. Right now 2-0, just beat the Wizards and beat the Bucks on Friday, so they got four more to go on this East Coast trip. And it's so far so good. And I mean, with this guy, the way Anthony Davis is playing right now, I mean, he's looking like top 3 player in the A.
Not last week though, right?
According to other opinions.
Yeah. But just kind of going to recap here a little bit of some of the stats, at least for the Lakers. Anthony Davis, as you all both kind of alluded to, 44 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Let's see here, 18 or 27 from the field. LeBron James, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. Flirted, of course, with a triple-double. Lonnie Walker with 14 points. Russ with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. So he came close for a triple-double as well. And then on the Bucks side, let's see here, let me pull it up.
Hang on a second, Terry. Hang on a second.
I'm not in the comments. I don't have that pulled up, so y'all have to do that. So Holiday, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Giannis, 40 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Even Lopez, 13-7. Of course, he's a big man. He's going to get that. Middleton, game back, 17 points, had 7 assists. So even Portis off the bench had a double-double with 10 rebounds, 15 points. So everyone got involved in this game. I'm definitely looking at the stats here thinking I'm going to have to go back and watch this game if I can find it somehow. YouTube, don't fail me now on this. We'll get with that. And of course, they're playing now too, correct? The Lakers, that is?
The Lakers just beat the Wizards.
Just beat the Wizards. You were talking about that, CJ. Okay. I'm trying to pull it up on Bleacher Report. Thank you, Bleacher Report. That game, 130 to, 119? It's loading. Yeah, 119. And Anthony Davis with 55, 17, and 1 assist. LeBron James, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 for 7 from 3-point line. I was actually going to comment on that, actually, not the 2 for 7. But that's one thing that I've liked lately is LeBron's been able to knock down from 3. Not this game he wasn't, but it seems like he's found a rhythm. I don't know if you want to say that or if AD is causing all the pressure off of LeBron in some form that he can step into that shot. I kind of alluded to that last week a little bit. Can LeBron keep this up with AD there? Or will AD back off on that, let LeBron take back over? So the Lakers are really looking good. Corbin, one of our buddies that's come on the show quite a bit down in Phoenix, who is a Laker fan, he said is Lonnie Walker and who's their other? He said it was the best duo role players they had since Rondo, and I can't remember who the other person he said.
Was that Lonnie Walker? Who else is it?
Austin Reeves. He said, it's Austin Reeves and Walker, the best duo players since Rondo and KCP, which has just been 3 years ago. But
let's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. They look good, though. They look good. Those guys are champions. But, yeah, I see where you're going, though. I see where you're going.
So I'm going to bring this comment and kind of transition to still the same topic. We talking about AD MVP yet. So going through my banners earlier, I seen this left over from one of our shows. Is Anthony Davis back? And Perry's already called me out and said that, my nickname may have to go. I've been calling him Anthony Day to Davis, so I think I'm going to have to give him a new one and see if I can pull it up here. Should have done it already, but I didn't. I think this is my new nickname for him. Let me pull it up. Anthony All Day Davis. as long as he's staying healthy, like this is working pretty good. You all like that? The AADD, got 2 ADs going on here. I mean, he's back. Do we think he can keep this going, or are we worried about injuries?
Only if he stays healthy. That's the thing.
Cool.
Like the thing about AD is that he never even lost a step. It was just all about health, and that's really what it has stemmed to. Let me date back to summer of 2021. Lakers make the trade from the Wizards. They acquired Russell Westbrook to pair alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I have been on record saying that in order for this team to succeed, you have to run the offense through AD. LeBron's getting older. We all know Westbrook's an elite player, but he definitely isn't the shooter, the scorer that the other two can be. So in my opinion, I looked at it like, this is AD's moment. He's the youngest on the team. He just coming off of a championship about a few years prior to that. This is his opportunity to really step into that role and become the number one option. And we all know that injuries got in the way, but honestly, you can make a case even last year, like when he was healthy, he played decent. He did have like some good stretches, but obviously we didn't see enough of it because he only played 40 games on the year. Mm-hmm. So now with him being fully healthy this year, we're finally getting a taste of that. We saw it against Brooklyn. We saw it against Milwaukee Friday night. We see it tonight against Washington. So this is the AD that everybody's been wanting to see for a long time. So, and I even said it before the season began. It's like, AD has been out so long that I think people forgot how good and how skilled he really is. You know what I'm saying? So now with him being healthy and having the opportunity to really showcase that talent, the thing that I love is that he's not holding back. He's that aggressive AD, aggressive on the defensive end, showing that versatility on the offense as well, playing a 5-man position. So him being that X factor for the team is really the formula to success for me. So big kudos to Darvin Ham and the coaching staff for really running the offense through him. And because of that, everybody else is benefiting off of that. Everybody else is benefiting. Like, even like you see Braun's putting up good numbers, but it's like he's also not really doing much either. Like, he's playing at a more of a comfortable pace, especially with AD being dominant. That 29 or whatever that he had on Friday night or whatever, that was like a nice, cool 29, honestly. So with him not having to have a lot of pressure on him to really carry the team, that's really going to help Braun, especially in his 20th year. So big kudos to AD. He's back. I definitely agree with CJ. Now he should be in the MVP conversation, and hopefully he can continue that momentum.
Well, you got CJ. I see you pulling up something here for reviewers or listeners on podcasts. CJ's pulled up a website here. It says Lakers close out Wizards on Sundays, matinee. What you got?
Yeah. Anthony Davis. I mean, you gotta put him right there. You gotta put him right there with Tatum and Giannis and those guys. I mean, we're gonna kind of get into my Week 7 MVP list in a few. I got that up as well, but 2019, I said he was better than Giannis.
I said that too.
But the difference was Giannis is durable and he's reliable and he brings it every single night. And so now what we're starting to see from Anthony Davis, now we're starting to see that consistency. We're starting to see him stay healthy. Nick made a great point. He's playing now. You can see that he's healthy now because a lot of his shots are in the paint. When you're getting your shots in the paint, that means you're willing to take contact. You're willing to go up. You're not scared of getting fouled. Even last year, he would get fouled, and his free throw percentage was terrible. Like, his confidence was all shot last year. Now he's ready to go. People criticize him over I haven't shot since April, and people were getting on him because of that. Now he steps on the court. All of that goes away. When you win, everything, all the stories and the negative narratives diminish when you win. That's what winning does. Winning clears all. And he's been a catalyst for that. And LeBron is this is what LeBron is going to do. LeBron is going to coast. the goat. He's gonna coast. He's gonna coast in the regular
CJ's
season.
got a soundboard apparently.
That's my guy. Quando. Yeah.
Hey, he's been on the show before, right? What's up?
Of course.
What's good, brother?
Let's get it.
Just get your phone, Quan, and just hop on here with us. Why not?
No, but yeah, he's just been playing phenomenal. He's playing phenomenal basketball right now. His shots going in. He's not taking a lot of threes. He's not settling. He's going to the basket. We know his ability as a two-way player, or protecting the rim, getting steals, starting fast breaks. He's an underrated passer also, and Braun is going to coast in the regular season. And once the postseason comes, that's when we see what he's been doing over the last 2 decades, which is dominate. So I mean, this is a great scenario for the Lakers. Their shooting has been much better. Their defense as a team has been much better over these last 10 games. It's been great to see, and they need to keep it up because the West is very competitive. This is not a conference where you could just slack. 2 games you take an L, 2-3 games you're going to 2-3 game losing streak. You got to keep it going every single night because these teams are getting better. The Pelicans are second in the East right now. I mean, second in the West right now. Nuggets are right behind them. So you just every night is a playoff game essentially in the Western Conference. So they got to keep it going. But they have the best. To me, they have the best duo in the NBA. We all knew this. We all knew this 3 years ago. They proved it when they won the championship. And now that they're healthy, they're just continuing what we saw from years past. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago also. But I asked Michael, I said, what's the most unstoppable player in the NBA? And he said, LeBron, AD, pick and roll. I said 1,000% because what do you do? What are you supposed to do as a defense if AD sets the screen or LeBron sets the screen? What's the assignment? Who do you double? You can't double anybody.
I mean, because honestly, you can go either way. You can pick and pop. You can roll to the basket. Like it's
and either player can run it.
Either player can run it. And what they did in Milwaukee too is not only were they doing AD and Bron screen and roll screen action, they were doing it in the mid range. So now both of those guys are getting closer to the rim, getting fouled, and if you collapse, and also since they're getting closer to the mid range, the defense has to collapse. You have to collapse with those 2 guys right there. It's going to set up open opportunities for guys like Reeves, for guys like Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, and other weapons that that
we'll get there, Tony.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to definitely get the SGA for sure. It's going to create more opportunities for those guys on the outside to get better looks. And last but not least, even though we're talking about AD, but last but not least, got to talk about Russ. I have to talk about Westbrook. I mean, what he's been able to do in terms of accepting his.
Did you see that end of the game when he dove for the loose ball? That's a winning play right there.
That was the play of the game. That was the play of the game. Dove for the ball.
I did see the highlight of that for sure.
That's the big 3 play. That's the best play they have as a big 3. No question.
And that's the thing, because like that type of play, that's something that you're not going to see in the stat, like or like in the stat sheet or whatever. Like that's a winning play right there that a lot of people may not give Russ that credit for.
Yes. I mean, Russ hustling, getting that steal. Then Braun gets it. Then Braun drives, and like you talked about, he got Giannis sit his joint a couple possessions ago. And what does he do? What does he do a couple possessions later? He sees Giannis right there. He goes up, nice little dime piece to AD, dunk. And here we go. I think it was like a 7-point swing right there. And that pretty much sealed it. And AD got a phenomenal rebound off a Jrue Holiday miss. And it was GG's after that. I mean, they're just playing. They're hitting on all cylinders right now. Darvin Ham's doing an excellent job getting those guys going. I think he's starting to figure out what the right rotation is for this team. We didn't see a lot of Dennis Schroeder in that game against the Bucks. We saw him a little bit tonight, but not as much against the Bucks. So I think against these high-quality teams, he has a certain rotation, a certain lineup that he trusts, and they've been playing well.
Michael. It is time to give the man Darvin Ham his props. It is time, man.
I mean, you guys know from the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm not saying that he's a bad coach. I've never said that he was bad. I just think some of the heat has not been coming to him in the talks. Now, by all means, they look great right now, and I almost hate it because we've dogged them for so long. Now we're almost biting our words here and be like, okay, maybe they're good now. I want to remove our screen here just so it shows us a little bit better.
Let's pump the brakes on that. We could definitely say that they have been a lot better than what they were at the start of the season, but I will still be honest. The Lakers are still not a contender, in my opinion. They're not up there with New Orleans. They're not up there with Denver, and the rest of these guys, Memphis, Golden State. That's just my opinion. I mean, they're obviously with AD, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, they're going to be a solid playoff team, in my opinion, or play-in team. But as far as beating the rest of those contenders, I don't think that they're there yet. But they have been playing better.
Well, I mean, again, we looked at the schedule last week, and okay, CJ is back. I was about to say, I was hoping he'd join before I went into this. We looked at the next 5 games this past week, what we talked about, or this road game or road series they're doing. It was the Pacers, Trailblazers, Bucks, Wizards, and Cavs. I think is what we stopped at. Maybe Raptors as well. I think I said they would lose to the Pacers and win to the Trailblazers, which they did.
They should have beat the Pacers. They should have beat the Pacers.
They should have, man.
They were up 17 in the fourth with 7 minutes.
And on top of that,
exactly.
you have to hold Braun accountable for that last 3-pointer that who was his name, Nemhard, ended up making, because that was his coverage. That was LeBron's coverage, but he didn't cut out there and contest.
Don't you do that on social media. We can talk about that privately. Don't you dare badmouth LeBron on defense, okay? We just lost.
I'm being honest. I'm
totally
that play.
Go ahead, CJ.
No, but that play altogether was bad because they needed a 3 to win. So why would you leave the 3 wide open? You got to stay home on the shooters.
Uh-huh.
Like what are you doing?
Is Quan jumping in on you?
No. Come on. You're watching the Cowboy game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But even so, they did lose to the Pacers by 1 point too. They were up 17 to the Trailblazers. So there he is. So just scoot over. Come on in, man. We know you want to talk Lakers with us too. So,
Any Laker fan?
Do what?
Yeah, but they want to know what you think about the game, about AD.
Oh, you got your earpieces.
Oh, man. It's not 2-10 no more. Not 2-10 no more. I'm happy AD is finally turning the corner. This is better than 2020 AD. Way better. He has the potential to actually average probably 35 plus for the year if he stays the way he's playing. 35 plus with almost 15 rebounds a game, close to 15.
Whoa. Come on now.
I'm about to say 35 might be a big street. If he averages that, that's another unanimous MVP to me. If he averages 35 and 15.
I'll say probably like the most, probably like 30. Averaging like 30 and 15.
I can see 30 and maybe 12. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, tell him to stick with his whatever he said, not because you influenced him any. If he thinks 35 and 15, it's going to be 35 and 15, okay?
See, this is the thing that just scares me, though, is that AD for the last few years has just been, like, injury prone, man. It's like, geez, like, it's like I'm excited, but it's like I'm also kind of concerned, too, because I'm like, man, if he plays too hard, then you just never know. So like that's my concern. But I'm happy for him. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that concern factor as well with AD.
Right.
Yes, of course. That's the only thing. That's all it was. All it was durability. It's not talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's not talent. It's
definitely.
So
since 2011.
Nick, with that being said, can AD being healthy and actually being able to move say that Ham is doing this? Or is it finally they're completely healthy? Because, he's not the settling for the jump shot, no contact guy at all. Like, he seems to have no injuries or lagging aches or anything like that. So we're finally seeing this team at its, I won't say peak, because, they're always going to be able to grow, but playing to their capacity, I guess. So can you say this is Ham? Because to me, and I'll throw my 2 cents on this first. I'm not bad-mouthing Ham, but I think Ham putting Westbrook to the bench and making it jive still is Ham. So obviously, kudos to that. I think we go back to who was the coach, Vogel.
Vogel last year.
I guarantee he probably talked to Westbrook about coming off the bench, and Westbrook barked back at him, and he said, "Well, no."
I don't think he did either.
I think he probably talked at least something like, "Hey, what if we did this?" And no, that's not happening, coach. I'm Westbrook. I'm playing. Okay, that's fine.
He might have suggested it, but also Russ doesn't respect Vogel.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so obviously we see that Helm is being respected and he's making some good choices. So I don't know if I can give all the credit to him, but I'm definitely saying there's some credit to him. I would be dumb to not be able to say that.
Well, let me say this. Somebody had to get in AD's ear because of course it probably was just him, but somebody probably gave into his ear and said, you got to be the dominant factor. Because like you mentioned, we're not seeing him settle for middies. We're not seeing him settle for 3-point shots. He's getting to the basket. He's ferocious jams, working around the post, back to the basket. Like this is a different AD that we're seeing. We all know that he has that versatility, but whenever he's around the basket, he's showing that he's unstoppable. So somebody got into his ear and told him that he has to be the dominant factor. I'm not sure if it was Darvin Ham. I'm not sure if it was LeBron James. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody's clearly got into his ear and told him, like the player that he needs to be in. Honestly, I don't know. Michael does not want to give Ham the credit that he deserves. Like the reason why I give Ham the credit is because what I saw last year from Frank Vogel when the Lakers were struggling. I didn't see any adjustments. I didn't see any motives that could like possibly try to help that team improve. I know that they dealt with a lot of injuries, but I just didn't see a lot of effort from the coaching side. That's why I give Darvin Ham the props this year, because even like Quan alluded to, they started 2-10. Like after that, you say, you know what? Let's slide Russ to the bench. Let's do this. Let's start Patrick Beverly. Let's start Dennis Schroeder, whoever. Those are adjustments that are necessary in order to win games. And because of that, I mean, look, we can elude AD coming into his own is probably the biggest factor, but another big factor is Darvin Ham making those adjustments and allowing a lot of settling for different lineups and everything.
And I'm totally fine with that before CJ, because I know you probably want to talk a little bit. I'm fine with giving him credit. I just always think it's weird that they're doing good, we're giving Ham credit, but when they're doing bad, nobody was saying it was Ham's fault. Like, credit goes both ways on that. So, and I'm fine now. I think definitely yes.
Well, I mean, like a part of that is like, those are reasons that he couldn't control. Like, we all came into this year saying that the Lakers did not have shooters. Like, that's not Darvin Ham's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, They just don't have any shooters. So, I mean, like, those are things that he couldn't necessarily control, but he figured out how to work with them.
Well, you got CJ. Go ahead and just knock me out for not giving Ham any credit here.
No, you just made a valid point right there when you said
hang on, pull up that Perry comment real quick. I didn't even see it.
You can do that, Nick. You are now have access to this.
I know, but
are you gonna pull it up?
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
We've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Not all of us together. Like, this has started our second season together, and now Nick finally realizes he can do this. Right there's where all the credit needs to be. Gabriel, where'd he go to college at?
Niggas right there. It's right. I'm here watching every game. Yeah, you made a valid point. Made a valid point about Ham. When they lose, Ham doesn't get the blame, and they win, Ham gets the credit. But that's what happens when you play for LeBron, that team. I mean, we know this. We know this, and you gotta give him something. I mean, 3-10, and now they're 10-12. Or 10-13 or something like that. Yeah, 10-13. So they bought in. They bought in. That's when they got the W in Milwaukee. LeBron had the post game press conference with Mike Trudell. Was having a conversation with him, and you see Darvin Ham come in and say, "This is the king. This is the king." They have a good relationship. They have a really great relationship, and I just think everybody respects him. One, he's a former player. Second, he's won a championship as a player. And he's won a championship as an assistant coach. So this guy has championship identity written all over. And then on top of that, and also he was a defensive player when he was in the league. That was his calling card.
Yeah.
His calling card was defense, playing hard, effort. So I mean, to me right now, it seems like a great fit. Bron and AD are healthy, and it really doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter who's the coach, because if Bron and AD are healthy, more times than not, they're going to win a lot of games. I mean, we've just seen it. We saw Bron, plug any coach with LeBron. They're going somewhere. Finals, Eastern Cup, whatever. They're getting somewhere. So, and then you add AD on top of that. That's just overkill. Mm-hmm. And they already won a championship. They have chemistry. They know how to win together. You could call it bubble, Disney, whatever you want to call it. Everybody was in a bubble together. Everybody, all those teams that were in there had the same opportunity.
And this is why I don't understand why people downplay the bubble. Like, everybody was under the same circumstances,
and they asked to come back. They wanted to come back and play. So I mean, it's just because the Lakers won it. LeBron got it. If it was anybody else that won that championship,
the most truest statement right there.
What an amazing feat by player A. He went down to Disney World and during the pandemic and but we don't do that because, again, you know why.
I mean, it's almost comical now, and we're getting away from the topic, so I'm just going to say this. We can get back to it. Like, we wouldn't have Bubble Booker if it wasn't for the bubble, Like, how come people don't say
that catapulted the entire organization?
But yet we don't say it's Mickey Mouse Booker, Like, he played well in the bubble and really put him on the map where he's in talks of MVPs off and on, or the Phoenix have actually been good for the past 2 seasons. But that was kind of the milestone that they got over the hump to say, hey, we're relevant, we're good enough, we can do this. And then you've got LeBron James who goes and wins a ring on this, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Mickey Mouse ring." So, and that's coming from a LeBron hater. So you can tell that I'm not biased. Like I'm literally saying, like with the helm, like growing up, coaches lost games, players won games. It's just that's always how every fan talks, the casuals. But then with the Lakers, it's the coaches winning the games, the players are losing it. And then now we're talking about the 2020 the Mickey Mouse ring. Because LeBron got a ring instead of saying, and that Booker earned his standard from this game. So there's so many double standards with what's going on with the media part of this. It's almost comical when you step back and look at it. And that's it. But we'll get back to the Lakers, which this is a Lakers jersey, guys. Don't look at the Carhartt here in my pocket, but this is a Lakers jerseys. I'm a fan now. Perry, send me a jersey out, okay? I'm not really. Don't send me that. But CJ, you got anything else to add to the Lakers and the helm and just the way they're playing?
Hey, Christian, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Christian.
Hope all is well.
Christian, tell us what exactly you was wanting us to clip. You can message us, and Nick will get right on that.
Volunteer me.
Yeah, no, really final thoughts. I mean, we all pretty much made great points on this. It's just great to see both of those guys healthy, playing great basketball. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. When those guys are healthy, playing at a high level, it just makes the NBA much better. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. And a part of me actually wants to give LeBron credit because obviously we're not in the locker room. We don't have that capability where we can go do these interviews. Like we live where we do, far away from everything. Well, at least myself. But I almost want to say that LeBron, on his days that he wasn't able to play, and Anthony Davis was taking off a little bit, showing that he can do it. I bet you LeBron's like, hey, man, don't stop. Keep going. Keep grinding. Keep leading this team. Because, when AD was coming, LeBron actually, people were saying that it's your team, like he's going to kind of take the back seat a little bit. Obviously, we don't believe that. But I feel like now that LeBron is back, that he's probably saying, AD, it's still you, man. Just keep on playing you. I'm just here to be your Robin, if you will, on this team. So I think LeBron has to get some credit as far as being a vocal leader for this team on what they're doing too. So I said that. Don't clip that, okay?
This is what we expected, though. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked or surprised. This is what I expect when you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the same team, and they already have a championship. Mm-hmm. So that's the number one thing I expect from those two guys. Nothing less, especially if those guys are healthy. So, Clip is breaking the rules for wings. Jack, I love. Yeah. That's a whole different discussion. We talked about
that's a whole episode. Them wings.
Yes, it could be on.
But no, why did it take me so long to figure out what he was talking about at first with the wings? I don't know why it took me a while to figure it out. Lemon pepper Lou.
Yes, sir. Lemon pepper Lou. Yeah, it's just great to see those guys playing at a high level.
Absolutely. Speaking of high levels, let's go ahead and start transitioning over to talent in the A. CJ, that was one of the topics you kind of want to talk about. You want to go ahead and start on that? What you mean and where you got going? As I take a look at my bucket.
Nice.
Yo, hang on, CJ, before you go. Michael, it's almost Christmas. Where's my cup at, bro? It's almost Christmas time.
You made a comment that you had to wait till Christmas. I ain't got my cup. So I said, you know what? I'm going to send that with a bow when it gets close to Christmas and send you a Christmas present. I have it. It's in my kitchen in the box still.
He's just been sitting there. Oh, my God. He's just been sitting. He ain't even thought about me. He's just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to just hold on to this.
Listen, my wife actually busted it out of the box and started like washing and everything. I said, no, that's not mine. That's Nick's. But I'm waiting for Christmas to send it to him. Okay.
Insane.
Jeez, man.
But I wanted to get into just first before I have a young talent, just the amount of scoring that was going on. Luka had a 40-point game. Tatum had a 49-point game against Miami. Brown had a 37-point game. KD had a 40-piece. Markkanen had a 40-piece. Booker had a 50-piece. This week was crazy. It was crazy looking at these box scores, watching the highlights of these games. These guys, I don't know what it was, but it's just on another level. They're just on another level right now. For the young talent,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I really want to just focus on one player, but there have been a lot. There have been a lot of players. Fox has done a phenomenal job now. He's bought into Mike Brown's system. and what they've done in Sacramento. He's been playing at a high level. SGA, I think it was 6 straight games with 30 points. Just dominant. Who else? I mean, and of course Zion. Zion is the main person for me because it's just really similar to what we were talking about with Anthony Davis in terms of when he's healthy, this is what we're gonna get. And they're second in the West. We're talking about top 5. They're number 2. They're number 2, and the team above them, they had their number in the playoffs. They took them to 6 games without Zion. So, I mean, it's and during this time frame, there's no Brandon Ingram, no CJ for a lot of those games. And how they played, they've completely bought into Willie Green's system and what they're doing over there. Zion, I'm gonna say it again.
He had 38 points on 8.
Yes. Alvarado, New York. Exactly. Yes, sir. New York stand up. Alvarado had a great game tonight. Brooklyn's own 38 piece. I mean, it's just you got Trae Murphy, has crazy dunks.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 crazy dunks. Yeah, it's crazy,
bro. I mean,
that was wild.
It's insane. It's insane what the amount of talent that they have on that roster. And I said this a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna say it again. The left Zion left to left hand is the new hook. It's just the new hook shot, guys. It's just the new sky hook Kareem. That's what it is. You cannot stop him going left. Doesn't matter. Everybody knows he's going left. You don't think all these coaches like put the clicker on like, look, he's going left. He's going left, guys. Look, he's gonna go left. What you the reason why? And he still create the reason why you can't stop it is because one, he could go right, also, and then go back to his left. And then also he's too strong, too big, too fast. He's a complete mismatch out there. He should really be a shooting guard. Think about that. He's 6'6". He should be a shooting guard. If he was a shooting guard, game over. Game over. It's over. If they put him at the 2, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The amount of mismatches he would have, just everybody would be food. All those shooting guards would be food. So
we're gonna try and see if these work.
Okay, yeah. Try to see if they work, bro. But Zion's been playing great. SGA.
Hey, I can hear you.
Hey, shout out Apple. SGA is going crazy right now too. Bo also young player in Orlando. He's been playing.
That's what we need to talk about soon. That's the guy.
Let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! This guy here, like, I think I alluded to this last week too. Like, obviously, the clear-cut favorite right now for most improved probably has to be Larry Markkinen, the job that he's done in Utah, being the number 1 option. But Bobo, in my opinion, has got to be right up there. I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but what he has been doing with the playing time that he has been given is just remarkable, honestly. And I mentioned this before, the skill set that we're seeing from Bobo, he's always had it all along. It's like, like he just needed that opportunity. He had it in college when he was at Oregon. People may not even remember, but when he was in the bubble, he had like a small run in the bubble and he was doing and he was playing pretty well. I don't know why Mike Malone decided not to play him in the playoffs. That's neither here nor there. But now with him being in Orlando,
I was out there.
And with Orlando, I guess not really having high expectations this year to really make noise. I mean, we obviously know they got guys like Paolo, Franz Wagner, and the rest of these guys, but Bobo has been stepping right up. He's averaging 13 a game, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. What is the shooting numbers? Let me pull that up.
I shared that stat from his last year or a Instagram. Check out Count the Bucket _ for our Instagram. CJ, do you have that still, the Instagram at least where you could share it? Because here's a post that I put that has his last year's stats
shooting 60%. We want to talk about Zion. Zion's been shooting phenomenal. You got to think Bobo has been doing phenomenal as well. And a lot of these, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of these are outside shots, perimeter shots that he's making, which is impressive.
I mean, and I know this is probably the coach part of me. Like, he shot last year 40% from free throws. This year he's shooting 77. Like, that is a huge jump for free throws. And for a guy that's tall like that, that actually penetrates, that's really big. It's not the Ben Simmons where he can't do that late in the games. This guy shooting 77, which I would like it to be in the 80s. To me, if you're in the NBA, you should be able to shoot 80% from the free throw. But still, he almost doubled his percentage, 3 more points than he's there. He's shooting 41 from three-point line, 60, which Nick already said from the field goal, compared to 25 from 3 last year. He's upped his points from 2.4 last year averaging, of course, minutes we know, to 12.9. And I only think that number is going to keep climbing. Don't you guys agree?
As long as he continues to get that opportunity, because Orlando's been pretty much injury prone all year. Markelle Fultz just made his return. Cole Anthony's been in and out of the lineup and such. So those opportunities are going to continue to come for Bobo. And if he keeps producing at this type of level, then yeah, I mean those numbers could possibly go up.
Yeah, as long as
I just hit the points on that.
Exactly what Nick said. Yeah, yes. As long as those opportunities are there, he's a mismatch. He's a mismatch. You can put the ball on the floor. And you made a great point, man. He's gonna get fouled. He has the measurables where people are just gonna foul him. It's inevitable.
Man, I'm loving CJ. All these great points.
Yeah, he's been playing lights out. I saw this in high school when he was playing at Matter Day in California. That's what he was doing. He was down. I was like, this guy's gonna be special. At Oregon, he only played 9 games, but those 9 games were something to watch. And he dropped to the second round, and I said, wow. I mean, he went like kind of low in the second. So I was like, no one's going to take a chance on him, at least in the high 30s. Nothing. He dropped all the way to
Denver. Zero sense.
It makes 0 sense. And then I was like, the Nuggets got him. I was like, him and Jokic. I mean, we could be looking at one of the most formidable front courts ever. But just it didn't work out there. Just wasn't a good fit. I don't know if his relationship with Michael Malone was obviously wasn't great because they moved him. He also had some injuries also, which played the factor. He wasn't able to play as much. And now, Jamal Mosley, he's bought in. He's bought into, whatever Jamal Mosley is preaching over there in Orlando. He's healthy. He's definitely stronger. They may not look stronger, but he is stronger. Just be able to take contact, get into the line. You have to be stronger that way. It's just like KD. I mean, KD may not look strong, but he is strong. So just happy to see him just playing lights out. 7 rebounds. I mean, for me, I'm kind of, I nitpick with that when I talk about boards. It's like, I need 10. You're 7'2". I need 10 boards. I need 10 boards if you're 7'2". But other than that, he's been playing phenomenal basketball.
Phenomenal basketball. Would y'all both say that he's probably a most improved candidate?
CJ, can you bring back the my MIP?
Yep, gotcha.
Well, see, that's what I was actually going to bring up real quick. So Saturday, before CJ did his MVP, he inspired me to make an MIP, which of course is most improved player. And without really looking deep into the stats, I was marketing. Like, I feel like he was the number one. But looking at the comparison that I shared right there that Nick pulled up for you guys go check it out if you're listening to the podcast again. It is at count the bucket _ for our Instagram, where these posts are at as well. But how can you not say Bol is the most improved right now? I mean, he's almost tripling in some stats.
Are you saying he should be number one?
I mean, who do you think's number one? I mean, the dude is.
I mean, in my opinion, number one. I mean, yes, Bobo does make a case, but I don't think he's a lock for number one. That's just my opinion. Like, I definitely give him his credit, but in my opinion, a lock probably has to be currently probably Larry Markkinen. That's my opinion.
Or SGA.
I'm okay with that.
I would even put SGA there. It's just depending on how y'all view that for SGA. Because for me, I feel like he improved so much to the point where they're winning. They have more wins than they've had during this time, during their 21st games since when? KD and Russ. So I mean,
right.
It's just.
I think we need to have that conversation. Like, what is the whole criteria, like the true definition of most improved player? Because I feel like a lot of people haven't really considered it in the right direction. Because even last year, like, this is my opinion. I don't think John Moran should have won last year. He should have never won, especially when you saw guys like Jordan Poole emerging. You saw guys like Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray when he was in San Antonio. Even his own teammate Desmond Bane had upped the scoring by like nearly 10 points. And he wasn't even considered the most improved candidate, which makes zero sense to me. So I think when it comes to most improved player, I think a lot of people kind of got the definition wrong. So that's why, in my opinion, I don't consider SGA. I mean, of course, SGA is elevating every single year, just like any other player. But to me, he's been doing this for a while. It's just that a lot of people may have not been paying attention or may have not understood it. It's just that I guess you can say now with OKC winning, I can understand it. But SGA's been averaging like 25 a game over the last 2-3 years. So this is really nothing new to me.
Well, see, let me just kind of give you a little bit of why I picked the guys that I did. SGA, I'm totally with you. SGA, is almost like comparable to me, the Ja Morant. Like he was already this, I'm going to say star, which there's other players in OKC that they're talking about, Giddey, of course, Chet, who had the season-ending injury. But, we talked about this last week when we kind of talked about MVPs. Some people were talking about SGA, which I was. I said in the MVP, my top 5 last week, I had him in there just to give him some respect because I don't weigh so much that you have to have a winning record to be an MVP talk. So with that being said, I wanted to put SGA in this because he is being dominant, even though I compare him like the jaw of this. So I wanted to give him a respect, put him on here. I don't think he could be a candidate for the fact that he's always been good. He's just elevating his game more. Looking at stats of what Bol Bol's done, I'm going to say Bol Bol right now, week 7, at the end of week 7, is my number 1. Because Larkin, am I saying that?
Larry Marketing.
Marketing. I was putting the L there. I was doing Larry Marketing.
He
was the front runner, 3-4 weeks ago, but I feel like, I'm not going to say he's dropped, but I feel like he's kind of cooled off. I don't want to say plateau either. The team went through a big spell where they lost like 5 straight, I think it was. So I feel like that kind of bumped him back a little bit. Now, Fox, that team's playing great right now. I'm not mad if anyone said he's number 1 to them. So that's where I kind of put some of these. I put some guys who have been good, like the Fox and SGA, who have been their number 1 guys on those teams and are just elevating their game. And then 3 other guys who are going from being role players, I'm going to say, to up and being stars on their team, which I say Tyrese is not really a role player, but he was a rookie last year. Now we're really seeing him take off. His name's not Tyler, by the way. God, apologies on that.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good, man. It happens. Definitely happens. Yeah, MIP, I look at Halliburton. I look at Bol Bol. I think those 2 guys definitely are probably at the top of my list, just how they've played, the consistency. Marketing, SGA and Fox. It's tricky. It's a little tricky because we have seen these guys have great games in spurts throughout the season, but not consistent like this. So we saw the potential and the upside for those 3 guys, but it wasn't in complement with winning. So I think now, they're playing at a high level and they're also winning on top of that. Their play it meshes with the winning. So, what do you count that as most improved? I would say yeah. I would say yes. But I think when we look at MIP, I think sometimes we like to think about the underdog. So I think that's when people were so upset about Ja winning it. Ja was already set in stone. Everybody knew what he was going to be, even though he did improve, but it was just different. So I think from an underdog standpoint, you could definitely go Bol Bol, just because no one expected this. The Magic, they signed him on a 2-year deal, and it wasn't even a lot of money. It wasn't like they gave him a 5-year, $57 million contract. They gave him a 2-year deal. It's probably have a team. They probably have a team option after the first year. Like no one saw this. No one saw this. We saw the potential of this, but we just didn't see it consistently on the court. So I'm cool. I'm cool with Bol Bol being there. He's always making a play. He's always on ESPN every single night, pretty much when they show these Magic games. And if they get Jonathan Isaac back with those 3 guys, it could be scary down there in Orlando.
Shout out to Bol Bol.
So before we move on, right now, who do you all say after week 7, you're 1 guy?
It's tough.
Say Bol Bol.
You gonna say Bol Bol?
Bol Bol.
it's tough for me to give him that.
You can't follow us now because you just said no.
No. I'm not going to. Like, I don't. It's tough though. Like, Bobo's definitely a candidate, but I don't know if he's a lock though. Like, but I almost do want to give it to Marketing again, but Utah's
We're
kind of
saying after week 7.
After week 7. You know,
we're just saying right now after week 7.
I was just going to give it back to Lowry. I think Lowry's been consistent throughout most of this year. I know that Utah's kind of slipped a little bit over the recent weeks, but I think he's still up there as far as the most improved candidate for me.
Another guy too, Anthony Simons.
Yep.
Yes.
He just had a 45-piece the last game.
Yeah.
He's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be on Michael's list pretty much in the next.
He should have been on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should have been a candidate last year when Dame was out.
Very possible, but they weren't winning. See what I'm saying? Now
that's true.
they're winning, and Dame is out.
And that's what's man. You know, I'll be honest, and I know we've got a show where it's basketball, but mostly just focus straight NBA. Let's just be straightforward with that. But it sometimes can be hard to do an NBA show so much because it's going to be the Brooklyns, it's going to be the Miamis, it's going to be the Phillies, it's going to be the Lakers or the Clippers. But I feel like these past 2 years that we've been able to do the show, it's been a lot more of these smaller market teams, these younger guys. Like, if you really stop and watch as many games as you can, you're starting to see a transition of all superstars or all-stars. Like, I mean, Jason Tatum, who we're going to talk about here shortly, is one of the youngest guys to, I think it was, reach 200 so many points or 2,000 points. I'm sorry, I left a zero off there. And he was in a listing, I think, with Wilt Chamberlain, I think it was. And again, don't fact check me. I can't remember what I seen. It was on Twitter that was showing that. I'm like, man, you know, I've got to start putting some more credit on these younger guys. It's just these older guys are still there, and I see the names, and I'm like, oh, you know, Paul George is still the greatest, the player right now. You know, the LeBron James is still great, but some of these younger guys, they are just as good. Like, there's no bad teams in the NBA right now, and if they are, they have a bright future in the next 3 to 4 years that we're going to be talking about them. So you don't have the Sacramento Kings of the 90s, you know, where it was just dog trash. So, I mean, that's making it fun to watch the NBA again. And, you know, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hit share on my screen. I don't know if did it take yours, TJ? Okay, yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and dive on into the superstars. And as I pulled up CJ's Instagram post about his MVP ladder through week 7, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you talk about these guys. And you look at the post for you guys on podcasts who can't see it. There's 3 guys I would say that are under 25 at least or 26 years old on this list. And that's what I'm loving to see about the NBA.
Exactly. All these guys are under 30. Let's just put it that way. I don't know other ages, but all under 30. I would, yeah,
80 under 30.
Yeah, 80's 28.
80 graduated in 2000, or freshman year was 2012. So he'd probably
28.
been
Okay.
19.
28.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a great list. This is a great list because
from the person who made it.
all of these guys are just playing phenomenal basketball right now, guys. Jason Tatum, you know what he's been doing. He had the 49 piece. I know he struggled on Friday against Miami. Everybody has a bad game every once in a while, but what they've done consistently, that have the best record in the NBA, Boston Celtics. You have to have him number one. You have to have him number one. We talked last year. We said he needed to work. He needed to improve on some things after that Warriors loss. He struggled in that series against Golden State. And what does he do? He locks in the offseason, and he has some fuel going into the next season. And it looks like he's really, he's worked on his game even more, and he's just playing lights out. He's been playing lights out. You have to have him number one. Number 2, Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker wasn't on my list last week, and he was on my list. He goes from off the top 5 to number 2. Why? Because the Suns have the best record in the Western Conference, and they don't have Chris Paul right now. And him and DeAndre Ayton looking like one of the best young duos in the NBA. DeAndre Ayton had 25 and 10 tonight. Booker had a good game tonight as well. He had a 50 points in 3 quarters a few days ago. It's just, we already saw him score 70 when he was 20. So, we're not that surprised, but listen, he's a phenomenal scorer, underrated passer, underrated defender also. That doesn't get talked about. We just look at him and just say he's a bucket. He's an all-around player. He's an all-around basketball player, and he's been doing it over the last 3 years or so. So definitely got to give him all the credit in the world. He's playing great basketball right now. 3, we talked about this guy for the last, first 30 minutes to start the show. Anthony Davis. Not too much to say. Just this is what we expect.
Finally.
This is what we expect. Finally. Just glad he's healthy and just showing his talent. He's playing like the best big in the world. Playing like the best big in the world, and it's just phenomenal to see. Giannis is always going to be in the discussion. He's still right there. The Bucks are second in the East. They have the top 3 record in the NBA. He's averaging 20. Him and AD are the only players in the NBA that average 25 plus and 11 plus rebounds. So this is regular. This is regular for Giannis. He's going to be in the MVP discussion. And Luka Doncic, they blasted my Knicks yesterday in the Garden. But what else is new? Everybody goes off in the Garden. It's the get right game. It's the get right game. Garden is the get right game. If you're having a slump, it's like Tim Hardaway Jr. said, if you're having a slump, a couple of games you're not shooting well, you go to 33rd and 8th, and it's just you'll be good. You'll be good. You're just gonna go off. So look went crazy in that third. Luka went crazy in that third quarter against us. Had a 40-piece. They had the tough, the interesting bad L to the Pistons during this week. But all in all, 33, 8 and 8. He's pretty much averaging a triple double. They don't have another all-star on that team. He's carrying this entire franchise. It looks like Dirk before he won the championship. Mark Cuban. Listen, man, don't take this for granted. I don't want to say you got lucky, but outside of that 2011 year, they no finals appearances for the. They did lose to Miami in 2006. So 2 finals appearances in Dirk's tenure. Think about that. 2. And Dirk was there for what? 18, 19 years? And he went to the finals twice? 20 years. Yeah, 21 years. He was there for 21 years in Dallas. 2 finals appearances. So Mark Cuban, brother, do not take this for granted, man. This is not old school basketball. He will leave if you do not put talent around him. So, but right now he's still young, 23 years old. He's having fun.
That's crazy. 23,
brother. It's crazy. It's crazy. The A is so easy for him. He could get to all of these guys could get to their spots. If you could get to your spots consistently, you're going to be a superstar, plain and simple. And that's why these guys are going to be in the top 5 for MVP discussion for the rest of their careers. These next 10 years, all these guys are going to somehow, some way link up in the finals. One of these guys will match up against each other, and we'll see who's the best in this next generation of the A. So it's great to see these 5 guys on the list. Outside looking in for me, Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson has another great week.
There we go.
He will 1,000% be on my top 5 MVP for week 8. I mean, again, he had a 30, 15, and 8 on Friday on 64% from the field, 12 for 13 from the free throw line. Had 27 tonight on 52% shooting. He's the most efficient scorer ever in NBA history. No one's. Maybe I'm proud. You know what? Will Chamberlain, right? It's right there. 7 foot in the 60s. Okay, if OG's gonna come and say, "Oh, you didn't watch Will," oh, okay, you got it. You got me. But in this A with the talent, not even close. Not even close. But how efficient he's been since he's entered the league. So yeah, Zion's gonna be there. Fox also. Ja Morant also. So it's just those. It's gonna be a flux. Jokic also. It's just those guys are gonna be. It's gonna be a flux of those guys as the season progresses. But yeah, right now week 7, that's my top 5.
And I think my connection's come back there. It's going in and out. I actually posted this on a Facebook that's just NBA. It's like nothing with us, Count the Bucket or anything. Just actually, I'll see if I can. No, I can't see what it is. But I just took the picture of it, screenshot it, took it over there, and I said, "Hey, what's your thoughts?" And I tagged you in it, CJ, later, but I don't think you got a chance to look at it. So I just want to read some of the comments because it cracks me up how some people are, and I'm guilty. Sometimes I'll just make a statement but have no facts or anything with it. One person says Giannis at 4 is a joke. Then of course he put Tatum, Giannis, Booker, Luka, Davis. So use your same 5. That's fine. But
who said that? Who in God's name said Giannis at 4 is a joke?
I mean, well, no. He put him at
You're
2.
A joke.
So I mean. The one person, this is what I loved. He said, delusional. Number 1 may be correct, though. And I said, what do you mean? Can you elaborate? Like, what do you mean delusional, you know? So people making statements, comments without giving any feedback. So I asked him, he said,
what else is new?
Yeah, I know. He said, Booker at 2, AD at 3 is deranged. I mean, how can you
What kind of basketball do these people be watching, yo? Like, what is...
So did he answer? Okay, so I asked him, said, so who you got? Because I wanted comments. Like, I wanted to get some feedback, what these guys out there think. And, of course, we're going to run into casuals. I mean, we just know it happens. So he said Tatum and Giannis are at the top, but neck and neck. 3, Joker. 4, Luka. And 5, either – wait. 5, he has Steph or KD, though. And I just put question marks on KD because nobody's really talking – top 5 KD right now.
KD's putting up numbers. He's putting up numbers. There's we mentioned this before. There's at least 10, 15 guys in the league that could be MVP candidates, but it's a tight.
Somebody put Luka too high exclamation points. I mean, how can people actually say that Luka is too high? And of course, I think it was Perk had Luka off his top 5 through week 6. The dude is a walking triple-double right now. If Luka's not on that team is trash. And I'm not being mean. It just is. So when we talk about the most valuable player, if that player, Luka, is not on that team, we don't even talk about Miami. We don't even talk about the Mavericks any this year. I mean, Christian Wood's playing good.
Christian Wood's playing good, but Jason Kidd, for some reason, does not believe in him, and I don't know why.
Luka is all that they are showing that they have. So I don't know how you can take Luka off of the list, no matter what. Like, I think, well, I can't remember the stats, so I'm going to go there. So
has any of these casuals mentioned Zion?
No one said Zion. Wow. So it's interesting to see, because I'm going to keep doing this. I don't know why I never thought about that before.
This was on. Where was this on?
It's on Facebook. It's like an NBA group chat. I'm pretty sure I went back and tagged you in it.
Okay,
I
tagged you. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I missed that. So yeah, people are going crazy. Now listen, I mean, again, whatever people want to make their list, I can't really disagree because like Nick just said, you can make a case for about 12 guys. Yeah, you can make a case for about 12 guys, and you can mix and match and put them in 5. It's very difficult. I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do. This was not easy at all because you can make a case for so many other people. So,
and I love the chatter. It gets, it gets Count the Bucket some flow with some other people. So anytime people want to disagree with us, to me, all I see is a comment and a click and possible follow. So by all means, I don't want to make of course, I'm doing the most improved player. I don't want to put someone on there that I think is just quote unquote clickbait. I really want to try to make a top 5. And if you disagree, let me know why, because stats talk, not malice, when it comes to NBA or just sports in general. So I don't know why people come at you like you're completely wrong on that stuff, because I may not agree with the straight 1 through 5 what you have, but at least you are giving me a good 5, So
yeah, no, listen,
I don't know. People get over it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't feel a way. I just think they're passionate fans, just like us. Again, they have their opinion. We have ours, and whatever their 5 is, I promise you, I probably wouldn't even really make a big deal about it. Because I could be like, absolutely. Yeah, I could see that. I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. It just speaks to the amount of talent in the NBA, and it speaks to the amount of production you're seeing from these top guys in the NBA. So it's cool. It's cool. I'll definitely get in the comments later on tonight after the show. and definitely converse with a couple people that voice their opinion. I think it's good. I think it's good. And like you said at the top, if they, as long as it's bringing traffic, to our squad to count the bucket, that's all that matters. Good conversation is important. You don't always have to agree on everything. It's 1,000% okay to disagree. It's 1,000% okay to disagree. So I'm prepared to see what people think, and I'm looking forward to that after the show.
Ooh, I am clicking on too many things. There we go. My bad. I apologize there. So, Nick, I missed this, and I need you to enlighten me, please. What is going on with, I'm going to say Trae, man, with Trae Young down in Atlanta?
Yeah, so dating back to Friday, I guess there were some issues. I guess Trae Young has been dealing with a shoulder injury over the last recent weeks or so, or probably the last recent days maybe. I guess he went into shoot around. Him and head coach Nate McMillian had a conversation. Trae Young said that he didn't really feel comfortable. I guess he couldn't really give it a go. And I guess words just started sparring between the two. I guess Coach McMillan ended up telling him that he either suits up, comes off the bench, or just don't show up to the arena. So what Trae Young did was Trae Young decided that he wasn't going to show up to the arena, and he didn't participate in the Hawks Friday night game against the Denver Nuggets. But it seems like they're both. It seems like everything's on good terms now. It seems like they talked. Trae Young has intended shoot around, has attended practice, and I want to say that according to Shams, he is going to be prepared to play tomorrow night's game. So it seemed like a little situation, probably some misunderstanding, and it seemed like everybody's on good terms. So that's an important thing.
Okay, CJ, you got any thoughts on that? Because my mind, it goes crazy. I look into things probably way too much, so I want to ask what you think on that.
Yeah, I didn't get to read the full article. You have to pay for the Athletic. Sorry, it's not in my budget right now. Sorry, Shams. Sorry.
I tell you what, CJ.
Maybe
you know Christmas. Where you don't have to pay for your articles at?
Count the bucket.
You don't have to pay for them at Count the Bucket when Nick drops an article on our webpage.
Don't got to worry about it. Don't got to worry about high quality content. But this
right there at the bottom, scrolling.
100%.
100%. But yeah, this was interesting. Now, Nate McMillian, this is not the first time where he's had some issues with some star players. You look at his days back in Portland, Brandon Roy, Rudy Fernandez, LaMarcus Aldridge. There was some issues there then. Then you look at his time with the Pacers, Sabonis, Oladipo. There was some rumbling. There was some articles about some interesting relationships between those two guys, but man, if he was, it's weird. Now I also saw something where they said Trae, the people in the Hawks personnel, they're looking for Trae to be more mature in some aspects. So what does that mean? What does that really mean? That's right. A very vague statement. That's a very vague statement. So and they're 13 and 10. 13 and 10. They're playing relatively good basketball. Hopefully they talk through this and keep going for the rest of the season. There's still a lot of basketball left. This is going to happen from time to time. Where coach and player get in arguments. Now you hope it doesn't become public like this. You hope it doesn't happen to where it's an issue down the road. But as long as they talk about it like men and they move on, everything should be good.
Okay, kind of helped me a little bit because when I hear that they had conversation and he wouldn't come off the bench, so he just said, "Hey, I'm just going to stay home," more or less, kind of made me wonder, is he being immature on this? And hearing you say that about wanting to be more, I'm going to use the word man here. It's kind of where I was wondering this is going. So we'll see if he'll man up on this. And because personally, if my star player on my team can play and chooses not to play because of a bickering or a banter, backs up banter, live Thursday night. I have issue with that if I'm one of the second player or the third player on that team. Like, our leader, because he can't get along with the coach or because the coach said I had to do this, decided he's not playing. Why would I pick him up if he's laying down on the ground? Because, hey, he didn't come there to help pick us up in a win. That's just me. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. It's a team game, so I don't know. We'll manage, or let's see. We'll see. What am I trying to say? We'll keep an eye on this and see how it plays out, I guess, because I feel like Atlanta is in this weird situation. It might be myself thinking this. Like, they're not super good, but yet they're not super bad. They're at that midpoint right now, and we're expecting them to be better. They made the trade for Murray. If they don't keep improving, could Trae – I mean, I don't think they'll trade him, but, usually when stuff like this happens, you start hearing some chatter about that. Trae is their number one.
Yeah, they're top five. They're top five in the East. That's what we thought, right? We expect them to be there, right there.
Well,
top five in the East.
I guess, but here in 13-10, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, no. If you look at the standing, if you look at the standing, they're all around that record.
I know at one day last week, 2 games, I think it was, separated first through 8.
Right, exactly.
Which is crazy. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm not checking the stats on that and speaking kind of out of contact there. So, I'll just leave it at that. You guys got anything else we can transition to? I don't really know what much to go on with the Hawks there, other than I think it's kind of childish that he wouldn't play if he's capable of playing, just didn't want to come off the bench. I'll say that again.
I mean, I think it's just a little minor situation. It seems like both Trae Young and Nate McMillian are both on good terms, on better terms now. Just kind of a misunderstanding, some miscommunication, and hopefully they could put that in the past and just keep moving forward. I mean, like we mentioned, the Hawks have high expectations this year. Obviously with the trade that brought in DeJounte Murray, but for the most part, they're still trying to figure things out. But after watching a few Atlanta games this year, they're definitely moving in a better direction per se. Very interesting to me because coming into this year, I thought that Trae would be more off ball, but Trae is kind of really still dictating the offense, really still being that primary ball handler, and they've been allowing DeJounte to play more off ball. But it's working. So at the end of the day, don't fix anything if it's not broken. So Trae Young's playing well, DeJounte is. DeAndre Hunter's having a pretty solid year, but then you got great role players like Okongwu, AJ Griffin, John Collins has been playing pretty well. So the Hawks are just. Yeah, AJ Griffin's looking really solid. He's been looking really solid this year. Shout out to him. Right, but the Hawks make it slow. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the Hawks are making vast improvements. Definitely give credit, and the ceiling is high for them. The ceiling is really, really high for them moving forward.
Oh my God. CJ, how did we just score? Oh, wait, I guess you didn't see it yet. My bad. I'm ahead of you.
I just saw it. But I only looked – the time I looked up, he was already in the end zone.
That's me. Sorry, guys. I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're going back. I've got it muted. I'm trying not to keep turning and listening to it because I'm sure it'd pick up on my mic. But they just showed Matt Ryan, so I'm assuming it's a pick. They're showing a highlight here. No, it's a screen, so
we're not surprised. Dallas put up a 30-piece.
But so I want to ask you this because, Nick, I'm sure you've been hearing some rumors because I want to talk a little bit trade talk if you all are okay with that. I've been hearing that my Heat are interested, or at least I'll use the word flirting with interest in trading Kyle Lowry if the return is nice for them as well. I don't think at all Miami is trading Kyle Lowry if they're not still staying contenders. I've heard some rumble about the Knicks maybe looking to trade some players and stuff like that. Nick, have you heard anything with your team with Golden State as far as maybe Draymond Green going to the Lakers or anything like that? Have you guys heard any kind of talks of trades that you want to talk about?
I honestly haven't heard about any trades, honestly. Surprisingly, I haven't. Yeah. Maybe I just haven't really been paying that much attention.
There have been a couple stories come about this week. Bill Simmons made a trade scenario with the Lakers and the Bulls, and it was DeRozan and Vucevic. Right. Yes. DeRozan and Vucevic, and for Russ and picks. And I mean, that's just. I feel like that's just podcast talk. That's podcast talk. That's podcast talk. That's what that is to me. But what happens is, you know, when a guy of Bill Simmons' stature, right, when he says something like that, social media basketball accounts, they're gonna eat that up, and it looks like news. It looks like he's reporting something, but he's really just chatting with his guys like we're doing right now. So, you know, I take that with a grain of salt. I don't see why Russ and trade is even a discussion with what we've seen over the last, you know, 8 games. Why are we still talking about that? He's balled in. He's playing well. He's knocking down his shots. We see him dancing, knocking down half-court threes. Like, why are we still talking about trading Westbrook?
They're happy now.
Yes, yeah, they're happy. They're winning. I don't understand why we're still mentioning trade and Westbrook in the same sentence, unless it means don't trade him.
Right.
So that's exactly that's weird.
But even
yeah.
But I mean, like, even then though, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like it wouldn't be a bad. I mean, DeRozan. We all know what DeRozan is. We know that the Lakers were trying to get him even back when he was playing in San Antonio, but I'm just not. I'm not big on Vucevic at this point. I don't think Vucevic would be a really good fit for this team, especially defensively. I mean, we know that he can space the floor on offense, but defensively he's cooked. So, in my opinion, like if you have to add Vucevic in that trade, then I'm going with a no. That's just me.
I'll say this. Now that AD is happy. Sorry, guys, I'm eating French fries. My wife brought them in. She made fries and texted me and said, "Hey, you want some fries?" I said, "I'm fat." Of course I do. But my thing with that is AD was playing the – sorry, guys, y'all are rolling on me, and I'm still talking. But AD was playing the 4, and I think Vucevic on that team would be odd, which, you know, he plays the 5. But with AD playing he does and Vucevic shooting anywhere from – I want to say it was 31 to 40% through his whole career at the 3-point. I think it could possibly work a little bit, him being a stretch 4, because AD can play that stretch 4 on defense and let Vooch go down low. Granted, he's still going to give up some stuff on that. So I won't say that I'm mad at that trade. I could see it being okay, but I'm not going to say I like it. I do think if you got DeRozan instead of Westbrook, which, again, it's working right now, but DeRozan is more of a threat from a jump shot perspective and can create with Brook can too. So I don't know how well it would help the team, but I do think it would make it a tad bit better. It depends on what they have to trade. One thing I seen was Pat Beverly packaged with Nunn, I think it was, trading away to see what they could get in return. But again, that wasn't with the Chicago trade. That was just the Lakers are contemplating possibly doing a package deal for something. So I don't know, just throwing that out there. What you guys think on that?
If they could package Beverly and Nunn for a wing, perfect. It's a perfect scenario. If they're able to do that and get a wing, consistent wing that can knock down shots.
If you could package that for a guy like Terry Rozier.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, that makes them better. It makes them better. It definitely makes them better. He could start. Westbrook's still coming off the bench. I mean, that's a great situation. The reason why the Vucevic thing doesn't work for me because he wouldn't be able to close the game. Because what I would do if I was the opposing team, get this call for the screen, and if they switch, I got a mismatch on Vucevic. Food. That boy is food. He's gonna be food, and so that like Michael right now eating his fries. It's food, man.
Michael over here having dinner, yo.
Yeah, he's munching. It's cool.
This is dinner 4, boys.
I'm crying. Yeah, so I don't think that move makes a lot of sense for.
What do you all think if the Lakers with Vucevic went to a 2-3? Like every position is somewhat changeable, you know, as far as their rotation to hide Vucevic in that situation. Because, you know, like the Heat, that's kind of how they hide, I'm going to say Bam, because Bam makes up for everything. But as far as he can't really play the 5 on some players because he's a little short. I think he's 5'9". I think he's 6'9", which we say Draymond's the same height. But he can guard 1 through 5 and be efficient. But a more stout, bigger guy is better at 5, then bam. If you did a 2-3 with that, you've got LeBron who can be obviously guarding the 5. You got AD who can guard a 5, and you got Vucevic who can guard a 5. You put AD and LeBron, they can still guard a 3, 4, 2. They could guard anyone. Like I could see a transition defense being where you go zone and then you can spread out. See, one thing we used to do, and I always thought it was genius. We would play a zone defense, but we'd call out a number, and whatever number we called out was how many passes it was until we picked up the person on us, and that would be man. So the offense would be going zone offense for however many, and then all of a sudden we've already switched and we're in a man on them. So, it's kind of a mental game there. But if the Lakers could work something like a zone matchup, I guess we'll just call it that, to hide Vucevic on that. Because I think that would work, actually.
It could work, but I just like the chemistry right now between
absolutely
private high school at our hometown that is now Donda Academy. Wow, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a Trojan. That's a fact. Him and DeRozan were Trojans. That's a fact, bro. I didn't know that though. Okay, wow, that's crazy. It could work, but like I said, I like the chemistry between Russ, AD, and LeBron right now. I don't want to break that up. Mm-hmm. They're playing well, and I want to see Russ win the championship. I want to see Westbrook win a championship with these two guys because I want him to put the rest that he can't win with great guys around him. I want to put that narrative to rest, eliminate all negative narratives on his career. And if he's able to win a championship with LeBron and AD, there's nothing else you could say. Nothing else you could say about Westbrook. Nothing else. What are you gonna say? Him, Brian, AD hoisting up the Larry OD? Are you kidding me?
He did it as a role player coming off the bench.
Yeah, okay. If he wins 6 Man of the Year, he came off the bench. He sacrificed. This is a Hall of Famer. He's been an MVP. He's been an MVP caliber player for the majority.
He might actually be a leading candidate right now for 6 Man.
Sure. Who else? He's like number one in almost all the categories, bro. Yeah. He's definitely 6 Man of the Year in my book.
So I figured something out. If we ever want Perry and Christian to comment, we just have to say something about the Lakers. Otherwise, they never comment. I'm messing with you guys. But
the casuals not playing. They're not casuals.
So, according to Bleacher Report, as far as NBA rumors, which I follow, one thing that they even talk about is the Nets are interested in Collins from Atlanta Hawks. What do y'all think on that? And I'm just spitting this guys at you all right now. So, if you're not prepared, obviously that's understandable. But we can just kind of talk about it a little bit.
I think the Hawks just need to go ahead and just make it happen. Like John Collins has been in trade talks for like the last 2 to 3 years, but as far as that, as far as that Brooklyn trade, I'm trying to figure out what exactly would Brooklyn want to package, like a Nick Claxton, will they want to package Royce O'Neal, what is that package going to look like for Brooklyn? But Collins, Collins probably, I think Collins could possibly fit with that Brooklyn system. I think he would probably work well in the pick and roll alongside a guy like Ben Simmons. So, of course, I feel like his role will probably decrease from what it is in Atlanta. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's just whatever works for both teams.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they're trying to trade him so bad. He can give you a solid 18-7, 18-8 a night. To jump out the gym, he worked on his shot. Now he can space the floor. I don't know why there were some issues between him and Trae a few years ago. I just don't know why he's always in trade talks. He's always in that discussion. They paid him, so it'd be my thoughts that they viewed him as a guy that would be a part of their future. So I don't know, but that could be a good move for them. He's a natural 4. You could put Ben at the 5. You could play 5 out. You could switch it up, do pick and roll action. He can roll. He could pop. Catch the ball off the roll. He could do a nice calm dump offs to Ben. Ben could do the same thing for him off the catch, off the roll. That'd be a fun Brooklyn Nets team if they find some way to get that done.
Scrolling down through while you guys are talking, they're talking about if they were to make that trade, and I don't see what they said they would offer.
Where's this? But what website is this?
Bleacher Report on the app. You can do trade rumors, and it's talking about they can move Claxton to the bench and potentially bring Ben Simmons back to the starting lineup when he's healthy, of course.
But who would be?
So they wouldn't trade Claxton.
Apparently, they wouldn't trade whatever offer.
In my opinion, you got to package Claxton like to make that deal happen. That's just my opinion.
But they don't really need Claxton though, because they have Capella, so that's like
Now,
kind of the same player.
That's true.
Would Capella go back?
Go back where?
No,
To Brooklyn?
you don't
No,
trade
Capella. I mean,
Capella. Atlanta should not be trading Capella.
No,
No.
not at all.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even understand
Now,
why
Derrick
they're talking
Rose.
about trading Collins. It's weird.
Right, that's true. But Derrick Rose, didn't he sign with someone already?
Rose on the Knicks.
Derrick Rose with New York.
Okay, so he is with New York.
He's been in New York
I
like the
thought
last
that
like
he
3-4
was on-
years.
Well,
Kemba-
I could have
Kemba just
sworn he
signed
was
the
with
Mavericks.
Kimba. That's who I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, Kemba.
Because
Kemba,
apparently 3 days ago, there's an article on Bleacher Report here that's saying Derrick Rose trade interest Mavs. Why would they trade for Derrick Rose when they just signed Kimba?
Yeah. That doesn't make a lot of sense. They're both of those guys that come off the bench. That's a liability defensively as a backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. Oh my god! But hey, shout out to Kimba though, man. Kimba got an opportunity. I'm happy.
Yes, sir. Glad to see him back in the A.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
It's a really good team.
I haven't thought about this. This is really spontaneous, like all this trade talk that we've been talking about here. But just seen a picture on one of the slides here. Jay Crowder, where do you all think he may end up? Or do you think he stays with the Suns?
He could go anywhere.
at this point, but in my opinion, I think he should stay, honestly. Like at this point, I mean, Phoenix is winning, they're playing at a high level. I think Crowd defensively can definitely continue to make that impact, alongside guys like Mikal Bridges. Cam Johnson is still out, so I mean, they definitely are in need of another wing type player or wing type defender. So I don't know exactly what the situation is. I don't know if he just doesn't get along with the coaching staff or whatever it is. But if I'm Jake Crowder, I would try to make amends if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either. Did some great things with Phoenix. I could see he could go anywhere. I mean, I see everywhere he's been. They've been to the finals over the last couple of years. Miami, Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Dick. I did not realize that when I took that picture, that was you yawning. I just seen your comment. My apologies, man.
I saw that. I had to zoom out. I was like, wait. I was like, wait. What am I doing? Then I saw my mouth like wide open. I was like, wow, was I yawning? That's crazy.
So let me just so everybody
good.
knows what we're talking about here, especially for you guys on podcast. So I just took a picture of my computer here with my camera and everything and put on Instagram that we're live right now. I did not pay attention what was going on when I took the picture. I was just trying to take it quick to get back on topic and look at the camera some. Apparently Nick is leaning back, yawning big, and of course that's what I put on Instagram.
Mouth is wide open.
I apologize.
It's all good. Keep it
crazy.
up. Keep it up,
Guys
man.
looking crazy.
Oh,
man. Jay Crowder. He could go to any contender, and he's gonna have an impact somehow, some way. Versatile defender. His 3-point shot's a little streaky, but when it's on, it's on. So
now, could he go back to Miami?
You go back to how crazy this would be, though. Listen to this. I don't think they'll do this because they got bad blood, but if the Lakers package Patrick Beverly and none for Crowder, that's a good move. That's a good move for
That's
the
a
Lakers.
win. That's a win.
Again, Pat Bev and the Suns, no, it's like oil and water.
That would be great.
Look at it though. I mean, like, but here's the thing, like, you can look at it like this: like, Russ and Pat Bev had beef for like nearly a decade before he got to the Lakers, and now they were able to put their differences aside, and they seem like they're fitting well together, or they're at least coexisting. I'm not gonna say that they're friends, but they're coexisting. So we all know Pat Bev and CP3. Pat Bev was on ESPN last year or this past year talking crazy about CP3 after the playoffs. So who knows? I mean, maybe Pat Bev could possibly be a game changer for that team. I don't know how much playing time that he'll get, because at the end of the day, Cameron Payne is still playing well, being that backup guard right now behind CP3. So, but it could happen. And I ain't gonna lie, Kendrick Nunn. I don't know what the future. I don't know what the future looks like for him. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think
as
James
a
Jones would do
Suns
that.
half fan, more of Booker, I don't know why they would make that trade as far as being on the Suns side. Like you just even mentioned, like
I mean, it's a plus. I mean, Crowder's not playing, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you at least get a body.
But still, like Crowder's going to be traded. You know, let's just be honest. If he's not kept, I mean, that's all you can do. You can be traded. So I wouldn't trade him just for anything. Like at some point, he can say, "Never mind, I'll play," or just let him sit there. You know, I wouldn't just give him up for anybody because he has value. Do what? Go ahead, CJ.
No, my bad. I was gonna say he's a body, but the chemistry for the team, I don't think it's not a good fit. I mean, this guy shoved Chris Paul in the back and got suspended.
I agree.
There's going to be some conversation,
and then he shoved what?
It's a physical. Maybe it's a physical confrontation that maybe they have to get through in order for them to move on. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see that working out. But I just say for the Lakers' sake, and getting a win, which is what they need, that'd probably be the best scenario for them.
Now, could a team like Dallas make a trade?
Former Maverick.
You could possibly, yeah. I forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah, he was a former Maverick.
He's been on a lot of teams, bro.
Yeah, he has.
Because he was on Celtics too for a bit.
Yeah, he was with Boston. He was with Dallas. He was with Cleveland for a little bit. He was with Utah, then Miami, then Phoenix. Yeah.
I'm just going to say Dallas Cowboys have scored 40 points with just under 10 minutes to go in this game. Just throwing them boys out there. You got to, okay? But, speaking of the Suns, let me go back to the Suns. And speaking, of Pat being physical, pushing CP3 last year, pushing Ayton this year, talking about being physical with Suns player, Chris Paul, physical. All I can think of is Kim Kardashian now. Like, we've not even talked about that part.
We can't. We're not going to discuss that. We can't do that.
What does that say?
All right. That's
not to my guy. Not to my guy CP, man. Not to my guy.
Not true.
It's not. I doubt it.
Although it does kind of make sense because when he was with the Clippers, he couldn't make it to the championship. The Kardashian curse, and then with the Rockets, maybe it was the Kardashian curse there too. But you know what? Until they say it's true, I don't believe it. Not at all.
Well,
not Chris Paul.
To Chris Paul's defense, and I hate talking about these gossip topics and everything, but Blake Griffin dated a Kardashian. James Harden dated a Kardashian. So to his defense, and look, I don't even like talking.
So they were
about
just
these
double
topics,
dating.
but...
Gotcha. Listen, I know I shared this in the basketball chat with the Unwrapped Sports Network. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it had a picture of Chris Paul with his family. It looked like a wedding or something. I mean, his wife was in a nice dress, and it said, Chris Paul's about to lose his only ring he got.
I saw that meme. I saw that.
I didn't have seen that.
That's tough.
That one is funny.
That's winning the internet for the day right there. But y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about?
Man, I don't know if y'all want to discuss real quick, but this has kind of been on my mind a lot recently. It's just, just looking at the overview of the Western Conference. It's like, obviously the West has always been competitive, but to me this year, there hasn't really been a team that's really established themselves. I think everybody's just still trying to figure this stuff out, whether it comes to Golden State, Denver, Memphis, even the Pelicans. Like, they've all been pretty good teams, but a lot of teams just haven't really found their market in the West. So, in my opinion, it's still pretty open. Honestly, I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite right now, or as far as who is the favorite in the West. What are y'all thoughts on that?
I'm going to go last because that was a pick from the Cowboys that was very nice.
I'm gonna ride with the Pals right now, man. They were knocking on.
That's why it's clear cut.
Oh, not clear. Oh, clear cut. Oh no, I mean, I don't think there's really a clear cut. But I mean, I think if they're healthy, I like them against anybody in the Western Conference because again, Zion's unstoppable. Nobody could guard him. That's automatic 30 a night. Now you could for the critics in the postseason. Postseason is different. Teams play you different in the postseason. Valid points.
I think honestly, Zion is gonna feast in the postseason. I think he's gonna really eat.
I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. I mean, people are really sleeping on his basketball IQ. We just casuals, like they talk about casuals throughout the show. Casuals, they just see the dunks. But this is a high IQ basketball player that we're talking about. He sees the doubles and triple teams and gets it to the right guys in the right spots on time in the rhythm, right into the shooting pocket. It's up. That's stuff Braun does. That's stuff Giannis does. So the more he plays, which he's missed a lot of games, so the more experience that he gets on the court and the chemistry that he develops with all of these guys. Remember, this is a brand new team from what he had when he was really on the court playing. Remember, he was playing. It was Lonzo and Drew, and it was a completely Steven Adams, completely different team. We're seeing him 30, 15, and 8. So I just. Once he's really locked in and these guys really got it going, it's just tough for me to see a team really stop them. Now, I've been high on the Pels pretty much since they drafted Zion. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. So I think he's going to be a force. And even if you do try to hone in and collapse on him, you still got guys like Brandon Ingram who averaged 30 on Phoenix. And CJ McCollum as well, who's played well in the playoffs. Valanciunas could get 25 and 10 any given night. And then they got some role players that could get hot. Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Lance could go crazy every once in a while. So I'm gonna go with the Pels, man. I'm gonna go with the Pels.
Any thoughts, Michael?
I don't know if I'm lagging. I might be lagging. My Wi-Fi showed up here like it's crazy, but the Suns are still on. Okay, Suns are still on top. So until they fall off, I can't not be away from the Suns. But the Pelicans, 4 in a row. They're 8 of 2 of their last 10. They are looking good. And as CJ alluded to earlier, Zion is the man. Probably be on that MVP list next week. And something that Zion doesn't get a lot of credit for or gets overlooked because of the way he skies. I don't know if you guys seen it, but there was a play, I think Instagram shared it, where he got a block on one end, came up the court, got the pass out on the wing. I want to say he spun around, went baseline, got the help on the defense, jumped up, and then pumped. He double pumped and still dunked it. It was amazing. I literally almost dropped my phone watching it because this guy that looks like me just skied and was able to go under a guy and dunk it. And then what I was going back to as far as what is the most underrated part of him or devalued as much is when he is double teamed, he makes the right pass. Like, he makes good passes too. Like, everyone can pass. But one thing I always pay attention to is how people pass to certain players. Like, I think, of course, when I play ball, there's certain guys, you throw the ball, if they're shooters, you throw it towards their face because they're catching it and their shot can go up. There's other shooters that I've played with, you got to hit it on the chest because they got to get that 1-2 to get it up. He knows how to pass to his guys and get them in that right filling, in the right spot that they can still do what they do. So I think Zion, hands down, is really underrated in some aspects by a lot of casuals because we've not really seen him play to his capacity for a whole season. So buckle down, and that card that I got that is graded PSA 10, I am excited for as it continues on. Granted, it's base. It's not going to be like thousands. But, yeah, I think Zion has a chance to push for that top 1, 2, or 3 spot in the MVP by the end of the year. So, yeah.
I'm right there with you, bro. I mean, they're one game back at number 1 in the West.
Yeah, and we know Nick doesn't really like the Pelicans, so I don't even know why he wants to talk about it.
Oh man, but I mean, Zion's playing well. Zion is one of the best players in the league. I've mentioned it 100 times. Nobody in the league can guard Zion. I don't care how many defensive player of the years you have won. You're not defending that man once he's driving into the paint and dunking on everybody. Like, he's just got too much power, too much athleticism.
He's like
it's
fluffy
just
LeBron.
A fluffy LeBron.
Yeah, man. even though he's still solid.
Yeah, he's solid, bro. It's just
that's what I'm saying. I mean, the Pels are up there. The Pels are up there.
Pels are up there. Can't sleep on the Grizzlies. They actually blasted the Pelicans a couple days ago.
Yeah, they did.
That was probably one of Zion's worst games of the season. He just wasn't aggressive in that game.
Nick, I think you need to do a top 5 or top 10 power rankings each week. Since we kind of got our stuff going, I'll stick with the most improved, even though it's probably the least favorite. But
I don't even know how to do power rankings. So how do you do it? Like just week by week?
Yeah, just week by week with us on Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Because honestly, I mean, I know we're live on our show right now, but I enjoyed that we could bring up our posts from Instagram to share on the screen to talk about NBA. Like instead of using other people's work, we've got ours that we could do. I think that even makes it more genuine of what we're doing here. So as far as power rankings, to me, it's not maybe the best record overall for the year, but who's playing the best at that moment in that week. So like, LeBron James and AD, how they've been playing and really beating up on everybody, they've got to be, as far as power rankings for week 7, probably top 10 at least, if not higher. Pelicans, I would say top 2, and just kind of go on whatever you feel. And honestly, it's your ranking. Who cares what people say? We want comments.
Right. Exactly.
Just don't put Spurs number 1. You're fired.
Is your rankings?
Spurs.
Oh no.
No, yeah, Spurs are done, man. I mean, they lost 10 in a row. They're trying to get Wemby. Yeah, they're trying to get Wemby.
That's what I was saying. If he put Spurs number 1, no, you can't make that list no more.
Hey, Wemby under Pop? I ain't mad at it.
I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad at it at all. Not one bit. Stay in the West. Do not come to the East, please.
Don't come to the East.
That's a big fan, please. I don't want him in the Garden 4 times a year. No, I'm good. Stay over there, please.
They have lost 11 in a row, the Spurs have. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's road to Wemby. Cool. That's their direction. Kings, we talked about them a little bit earlier. They bought in. Grizzlies, they're always going to be there. Jerry Jackson Jr., Bane, those guys they've missed some time, but when those they're back now, but they've missed some time. And once those guys start playing together more, they're going to be good. And even when those guys are out, they still find ways to win. We know that the 21-5 record last year without Ja, Tyus Jones, Anshar, and they just bring anybody in there. I mean, us, all 3 of us could go.
Us.
You're just in there balling for the Grizzlies. Steven Adams. Perfect player for Ja Morant. Perfect player for Ja Morant because the seal-offs, the screens, so Ja could get free lanes to the basket where he doesn't have to get contact because he's a small guy. Perfect. It was a perfect trade for both teams. Valanciunas, it was a perfect trade. Probably one of the most underrated trades that nobody talks about. Mm-hmm. It worked for
and the most fair.
Most fair, yeah. Valanciunas could space the floor. Zion could stay in the paint. It was a beautiful trade. Beautiful trade by both squads. So yeah, Adams is a godsend really for Ja Morant. I mean, it's just he makes the lane so much easier for Ja to get to the basket. And then the offensive rebounding too. I mean, one of the best offensive rebounding bigs. Well, he's the best offensive rebounding big in the league. That's what the numbers tell us. So let's go off the numbers. It's. The Grizzlies are going to be there. I like the Kings. They're just playing well, man. I'm happy for that organization and that franchise and for those fans, the city of Sacramento. I'm happy that they're seeing some winning basketball. When those guys get the W, they light up the beam. That's kind of their thing now. They kind of got their thing. That's good. They're creating a new culture, a new identity. They're scrapping everything we saw over the last 20 years, and they're creating something new now. And that's great to see. That's great to see. And that's just why we love the game and we love the NBA. For stories like that.
Absolutely. But yeah, I wouldn't even be mad if you did like a top 5 in the East, top 5 in the West. I'd rather you just do like a top 5 overall. That way you ain't doing that much. But yeah, I think that's great.
Content. First one coming out this Friday. Let's do it.
There we go. Good deal. Well, boys, it is 11:20 p.m. Eastern time. I guess we're all Eastern time. No, wait. Nick, are you an hour behind us?
I'm on Central Time. Yeah, I'm an hour behind.
What a loser. God, all this time I thought we were the same.
You want to know what's like crazy? Like, there's a city like probably 30 minutes away from me. It's Eastern time, but
really,
I'm on
that's
Central.
crazy.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I said we go ahead and call it quits. Shout out to my new job. I start tomorrow. I will be the store manager at our local shop here. It's, of course, Advanced Auto, which is everywhere. So I'm excited about that. I got to be there 8 a.m. Don't want to be late. Don't want to be grump. So I'm going to hop off of here and get ready for bed. Guys, where can we find you all? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Congratulations again, my brother, for real, man. Congratulations,
Thank
bro.
you.
You can find me Linktree. Oh, yeah. Yes.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, yep, I'm excited for new beginnings, and let's see how it goes.
Yes, sir, man. Oh, I hope everything works out, my brother. You can find me at Linktree/CJames9. Everything I got going on. The Hard Count. Follow us on Instagram. The Hard Count NFL. Make sure you follow that. Hard Count is on IG now, just like Count the Bucket. So look out for that. Obviously, the podcast, we're live every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here at the Unwrapped Sports Network channel. And again, Count the Bucket, as you guys know, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, live on Unwrapped Sports. We're going to start putting some clips of different topics of this podcast and of our full podcast on our Count the Bucket YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to that as well. Make sure you leave a like on our videos, and then also hit that notification bell so you can find out the next time a video goes up and you see any three of us creating some great content for you guys covering the NBA. Really appreciate all the support from everyone, not just from USN, all of our family members and friends helping us out, making us trying to get us to a place where we want to go. So thank you guys for supporting us. You can find me Linktree as well. Everything that I got going on. Yeah, just want to show some gratitude, show some appreciation to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Follow us on Twitter at CountBucketUSN. Follow us at CountTheBucket_. Follow or get us on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is. Give us 5-star reviews. I think we are deserving of that. We have a really great show, great chemistry. Follow me at NickAndreATR. Make sure to look out for the website. One of the new article will be dropping probably middle of this week, so make sure to check it out.
Sounds good. As you can see at my name, podcasters, you can't, but Count Bucket USN is what we talked about, Twitter. But as you can see down below, our Instagram is at CountTheBucket_, and scrolling now, just like CJ with this Linktree, we now have linktree.com/CountTheBucket, and you get all of our social medias on there where you can see everywhere we are. I'd tell you where mine is, but I'm so hick, you probably can't understand me anyways. If you go to any of our social medias with Count the Bucket, you can see we're at in the bios of all of the stuff anyways. So by all means, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for all the comments from everyone all over the place with everything we're doing. We are coming at it. We are going to the moon, and I love it, and I love the energy. Like you said, Nick, we do have great chemistry. We also have great beards, so I mean that's what we're here for, anyways, right?
I'm trying to grow mine out, man. I'm not up with y'all yet, man. But I've been trying this new oil, so hopefully it'll start thickening up.
There we go. But until we see each other again, boys, y'all have a good one.
Deuces.
Catch you guys next week.